It's Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success Seminars, where we give you knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life, ageless, anti aging for your brain, your body, and your future. The Awake Method, because it's time for all of us to wake up, and effective communications for those who want to speak from live stages on Zoom or simply be more effective in everyday communication. And by the way, sorry about this crooked picture in the back. I really tried to straighten it. I know now you're not going to be able to unsee it. But anyway, I really tried to make it uncrooked, but it's like kind of nailed to the wall. I guess all pictures are nailed to the wall, but don't complain to me, complain to the Hyatt. Anyway, several years ago, I talked about, nope, it wasn't several years ago, it was several weeks ago. I talked about the reason you have your dreams and I have mine. And it's simply that you're meant to live yours and I'm meant to live mine. That's why the Creator gives us different dreams. But I want to speak a little bit more about this concept and about why we dream the dreams we dream. And is there ever a time we should give up on our dreams? First of all, we need to remember the truth that is often attributed to the great German philosopher Goethe, but in fact, it was spoken by Scottish mountaineer and writer W.H. Murray. I'm sure you've heard the quote before, and it goes like this: there is nothing capricious in nature. The implanting of a desire indicates that its gratification is in the constitution of the person who feels it. Or, in simpler terms, you wouldn't have a desire unless you had the ability and the destiny to fulfill it. The desire and the fulfillment come in the same package, just like the oak tree is in the acorn. So, if you have a true desire, a burning desire to be a writer or an architect or a talk show host or a massage therapist or a pastry chef or to design video games, the implanting of the desire indicates that you are meant to fulfill that desire. You see, there are three main reasons why people do whatever they do in life. There's probably more, but three main ones that I could think of. The first is to be happier. People get married, they have kids, they start businesses, they go on vacations, they learn to meditate, they become attorneys or doctors or acupuncturists because they believe that doing those things will bring them more happiness. No one says, I'm going to become a doctor because I know that doing that will really make me miserable, or I'm going to have kids to see how much unhappiness I create in my life. No, they do what they do with the belief it will bring them greater happiness. The second reason people do what they do is because they want to contribute to the happiness of others or the well being of the planet. If someone opens a restaurant, for example, they do it because they believe that that if they serve people a beautiful meal, those customers' lives will be enriched and they'll be happier. I have a dear friend, his name is Elliot Bell, who recently opened a restaurant in St. Helena, California. It's called Charlie's, and he loves when his customers are happy. I saw that firsthand. He loves when the food hits the mark and his customers are go away satisfied. And it's a fabulous restaurant, just by the way. But again, no one opens a restaurant and says, I'm going to make really disgusting food so my customers will be miserable and have a horrible experience. No, that just doesn't happen. The third reason people do what they do is because it's their Dharma. Now, you've probably heard the word Dharma before. It's a Sanskrit word, and the definition of Dharma is that which upholds, not just what upholds your life, but according to Vedic literature, when you live your Dharma, you are upholding all of creation. In fact, it says in Vedic literature that when everyone is living their Dharma, the world will enter into a golden age. In the scripture called the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna on the battlefield that it is so important to live your Dharma that, quote, it is better to die living your own Dharma than to live the Dharma of another, end quote. Those are really strong words, but if we believe that it's true, it kind of inspires us to live our Dharma. But how do we know what our Dharma is? Well, everyone is born with gifts and natural inclinations. Going with those inclinations is how you live your Dharma. And when you use your gifts and your talents, you're upholding all of creation. So just ask yourself, what makes me happy? Do you love music? Do you love sports, speaking, writing, selling, painting? Do you love numbers? Do you love computers or building things or hiking or gardening or robotics? What did you love when you were a child? I'm going to give you an example. So, my daughter Deanna always loved fashion. She was a little fashionista when she was like 4 years old. So, she went to an artsy college and got a degree in fashion marketing and merchandising. But there was something else that was unique about her, and that is she always had the ability to heal people. When she was a tiny little girl, and I had morning sickness when I was pregnant with her brother, or I had a headache or back pain, the first thing I would do was say, "Get Deanna," and have her lay her hands on me. And I always felt relief and almost always was completely cured. Well, after getting her degree in fashion, she realized as much as she loved that world, there was a world that spoke to her even more. And she became a chiropractor. Her practice members adore her and are aware that they are in the presence of not just a skilled chiropractor, but a genuine healer because it's her Dharma. She was given that gift and she's using it. You also might have heard me talk about my brother in law, Jonathan Poneman, who from the time he was a little guy, he loved music. His parents said that all he ever wanted to do was listen to music and go to concerts and play various instruments. And when he was a teenager, he realized he had an eye for musical talent. He could actually predict which groups were going to be huge and which groups were going to be one hit wonders. And he was always right. And when he went to college, he became a disc jockey for his college radio station and he wrote a music column in the school paper. And when he graduated from college, he wanted to be a music producer or an agent. But his parents said the future was in computers and convinced him to pursue a career in that. And after attending one of my Yes to Success seminars, where he learned about this concept of living your Dharma and that you're given talents and inclination because the Creator, the God of your understanding, wants you to use them to make the world whole. And inherent in that desire is the ability to fulfill that desire. You love what you love for a reason. And in Jonathan's case, after he took Yes to Success, he told his parents that he was not going to go to computer school, but he was going to be a music agent. They were not happy with him, or me, by the way, until a year later when he went to an obscure coffee house in Seattle, and playing there to a handful of people was this little group called Nirvana. And he signed them to his brand new record label called Sub Pop on a handwritten piece of notebook paper, which, by the way, is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as Nirvana went on to be one of the biggest alternative music labels in the world. And Nirvana's frontman, Kurt Cobain, in one of his final interviews before his untimely death, credited Jonathan with coining the term grunge to describe the music that turned into a major musical genre. John appeared in Rolling Stone and on the cover of Spin, and actually has an entire showcase in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame dedicated to him and Sub Pop and his partner, the co-founder. Whatever lights you up and makes your heart sing is what you were put on earth to do. And, I just want to say it won't necessarily be smooth sailing to the top. There will be road bumps and obstacles because that's life. But success is a journey, it's not a destination. The fun part is traveling the road towards the fulfillment of our dreams. We live in a big classroom called Planet Earth, and we're here to learn the lessons that each obstacle presents to us. Just don't get discouraged at the first or second or third appearance of an obstacle. Don't think the destination isn't waiting just because there's a roadblock and you have to take a detour. Those are just the life lessons you came here to learn on your journey. So do what Napoleon Hill author of Think and Grow Rich, it said and you know that Think and Grow Rich is one of the most popular self-help books, money books of all time. And he says that when there is an obstacle, he says to the obstacle, well, hello, little fellow. I don't know what it is you've come to teach me, but whatever it is, I will learn it so well that you will not have to come back a second time. And then keep moving, remembering that there is nothing capricious in nature. And if you have a desire, it's there for you to fulfill. And that's why we all have different desires. One person wants to be a photographer, another wants to build buildings, another wants to save the whales, another wants to grow vegetables. Just know that whatever you love, it loves you too. And your goals want you as much as you want them. Because when everyone is living their Dharma, that is when a golden age will dawn. Trust this. And even if what lights you up is for now not your vocation, but rather your avocation, that's okay. Just doing what you love and keep on doing it. And you never know where it will lead you. It will lead you to your ultimate destination and maybe even into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So have fun, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.